Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of F1 2014 Career Mode, where just 4 episodes remain in this weekly series, and today we have the Russian Grand Prix, the first ever Russian Grand Prix at the Sochi circuit at its time here for this game. So very excited to get this one underway. Hopefully today, as I say every episode, is when we get that first win. Alright, then here we go for qualifying, which is officially underway, and the car got off to a weird start. It was kind of hooked on the curbing right there, but immediately a little bit of a lead over Ricardo. I've gone for a bit higher of a straight line speed setup, but not much, only 1 tick to the right from the usual default set here. Now as we head down into turn 1, I was really conservative into that first turn, just wanting to make sure the car was going to be planted there, but overall, not too bad of a start. Sochi is a track I always enjoyed racing at, of course, no longer on the calendar for good reason, but so far feeling okay, going a little bit wide right there. We got our teammate of Lewis Hamilton just in front of us, but hopefully we can kind of maintain what we've done in Sector 1 so far through the rest of the lap. If you remember last episode, I said I was feeling confident when it comes to this circuit. I have quite a few laps around this track, actually, oddly enough, here in F1 2014 as we go a little bit wide on the exit of the right-hander, but just kind of following Hamilton's ghost right here. And yeah, so far, so good. Not going to be pole position. It's just never going to happen for us in F1 2014, and never could happen in any of these classic games. But I mean, this is the closest we've been halfway through a lap ever to the pole sitter. Now, Sector 3 is where we're going to lose all of our time, so we need to try and, of course, get the attack out here and hope for the best in this third and final sector. Going a little bit deep, but it's okay. We get the car planted nonetheless, but here's where the grip is going to really be lacking right there all Grand Prix long. So it's like if you can just survive through these sections of racetrack, which I think we've gained time for once. Yes, we definitely have actually been able to make up some time there. So very promising signs here in Sochi. Now as we come through these final couple of corners, 1 turn to go. Out of the final turn, a little bit rough, but P4, row 2, wow, that is what we've been waiting for all career mode long. I'm feeling confident here. We don't even need to rush ourselves for the first time in the Grand Prix, so let's head into it. Anytime I feel confident in this game, it makes sure to rain on me. Hamilton on pole position, you see Alonso there, then myself lining up just behind him. But as well, above us, you see the overcast skies. It is going to rain. The question is when? I'm sure we're going to find out pretty quick. It's at a 56% chance, so I'd imagine around lap 6 or 7, we're going to see some rain in this Grand Prix. Here we go. Nonetheless, it's the lights out. We're racing in the Russian Grand Prix here from Sochi. Now, not a great start, but certainly not a bad start. Now, I'm going to make sure to put those brakes immediately down to the rear. And here we go. Get that slipstream from Alonso. We're in a good position heading into turn number 1. Do we get the elbows out on the Ferrari? No, we're just going to play it safe as Hamilton goes wide. I'm actually into the back of Fernando right there. He really checked up right there as this game is really tugging on my wheel right now, but we're okay nonetheless. Side by side here with Seb. Now, of course, Vettel had a pretty rough 2015, or was it 2016? Sorry, 2016 Russian Grand Prix it was. Of course, the start didn't quite go how he would have hoped, but nonetheless, we get through and we're into that third position. Now, I'm already just kind of waiting on an update about the rain. When is that rain going to strike here? And how long do I have to open up the gap? Now, I feel like our pace is going to be better here in the rain than any other circuit in the game. We just seem to mesh really well here with Sochi, so I'm not trying to rush myself. We're just kind of trying to settle in here. This is a rare moment where we can take advantage of a good starting position and not have to do anything silly, don't have to resort to any desperate measures in these opening laps. So we're just going to try and settle in here, get an opportunity hopefully to pass Alonso by the end of lap 2 at least. 15 minutes for light rain. That's a lot longer than I was expecting to hear. So I take that as it's going to be raining right at the tail end of this Grand Prix. I mean, a little bit before with 15 minutes, of course. Now up the inside, though, of Fernando Alonso. We get into turn 1 alongside, and we clear him. He actually goes really wide right there, so we're able to clear him by the apex now. And here we go. It's once again the same thing we have seen many times here in, well, recent memory of this career mode, and that's me chasing down Lewis Hamilton. If you remember at the start of the season, I mean, we were miserable. We couldn't figure out this game, and it actually took me a live stream of about 2 or 3 hours on Twitch to actually just focus in on this game and actually, you know, learn how to play it basically and learn how to drive it, and that made the world of a difference. And we still haven't been able to quite reach the top step of the podium the last 5-6 races. It's felt like we've been just trying to chase down Lewis Hamilton in the closing laps, but we always run out of time. Last episode, probably the most heartbreaking one yet with the way things happened there. We needed another half lap and we would have gotten Lewis with the rain and whatnot, and him being on the dry tires while we were on the inters. So it wasn't quite meant to be in Japan, but I don't care where the win comes. I just want to get that win now with these final 4 episodes underway. I never hear that. Pace is good. That's a sign of things to come. Maybe 1.2 seconds to Hamilton at the sector update, but I think we are just reeling him in a little bit. I'm not giving it 100% because it is easy to really screw up here at Sochi now. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward track, but just the way these corners are shaped, sometimes it's pretty easy to just throw away a corner, and of course you have to reset and find that pace over the rest of the lap here now. But we're going to slowly, hopefully, ease into that DRS of Lewis Hamilton now. The rain, of course, is in the back of my mind. I don't know what my pace is going to be like here in the rain. Like I said, I think it'll be better than it usually is at other circuits, but that doesn't necessarily mean much. So we definitely need to really have a goal of passing Hamilton, I would say 2 to 3 laps at the minimum before the rain actually strikes. But of course we don't know how hard it's going to rain as well. It might be just a light sprinkle and it really won't make a difference. We are closing for sure. There we go, 9/10 of a second, purple sector 1. If we can just stay within that 9/10, going of course to that long back straightaway, we're going to be in DRS range and Hamilton will then be under threat. Here we go then, DRS enabled, and we are going to slowly reel in. We're not going to be close enough to strike here, but 0.6 of a second. We get really close towards the end of the straightaway, hopefully. On the end of the front straightaway, depends how we roll through Sector 3, we might have a chance to go for the lead of this Grand Prix. Here we go then. Let's go for a move on Lewis Hamilton now. I just got a weather report about 10 minutes till rain, so we're going to go for this overtake on Lewis Hamilton. He is not used to being under pressure for the lead, I can tell you that much now. Up the inside, leave him the room, and Hamilton actually still, even with all the room I give him, goes a tad bit wide to the lead here in F1 2014. Is it finally our time to get that first win in this career mode now? We're going to continue on and just focus in on trying to now open up that gap to Lewis, because if he's able to stay within the DRS, of course, it's very much still anybody's game, and I don't want to make it anybody's game, to be honest with you guys, as that is certainly not going to do myself any favors. We are pitting at the end of next lap. We're not going to bother trying to stay out until that rain comes, but I have a very sloppy Sector 2 so far that's allowed Hamilton to stay right with us. Hamilton with the DRS. I'm going to leave the right side open. If he takes it, he takes it. If he doesn't, which he does not, he stays put just behind. So we maintain in front. The question is, how much of a gap can we open up here in Sector 3? You can either gain a lot or lose a lot. And my goodness, we're hitting that point now where the car's starting to slip and slide around. So I think we've gotten to the lead at a good time. But overall, we keep the gap decent to Lewis heading into these final couple of corners. So he's still going to have DRS for sure. That's a given, but we're going to at least be a comfortable gap ahead. But yeah, we are definitely starting to slip and slide. Pit window open though. We'll pit at the end of this lap. Now a nice comfortable gap to Hamilton. Hamilton's still right here with me, but it doesn't matter. We're going to come into the pits right here. I don't even remember how to enter the pits. Okay, here we go, to the right side, and is the game, I don't know when the game's going to take control, so I'm going to slow down, and I think we made the right call there for sure. Otherwise I would have been head on into that barrier. So we'll pit. Alonso's pitting and several behind him. Looks like Sebastian Vettel as well is going to join. We still got a little bit of time before the rain hits now, and oh, that is not what you want to see right there. That might give Hamilton the opportunity to get back out in front of us here once we come back around. I would imagine he will be pitting at the conclusion of this lap here. So is that rain? Oh, no way. I was told 10 minutes, not even 5 minutes ago, and now it's raining. Have we just thrown because of that? I really hope not. But we got to focus in, obviously, and push hard. As I go a little bit wide on the exit of turn 1, but now it's focus time at this point. A bit of rain in the next couple of minutes, but it is already raining, my man. Let's hope Hamilton's in at the end of this lap. I'm not seeing any tire spray, so that's obviously a great sign of things to come. And Hamilton's pitting. Okay, so we don't need to panic anymore, but there's still a tad bit of panic because we know we were held up by Alonso. Hamilton's going to be held up by nobody. So will the 1 lap difference of me still pitting earlier be enough to get me out in front of that Mercedes? This is going to be crucial right here. Here we go. No DRS. Hamilton Hamilton exiting. Oh, it's going to be interesting because he's going to be able to get up to speed and have a bit of a shorter route. And yes, Hamilton, I think, is going to be out in front. He is. Hamilton back to the lead of the Grand Prix. So now we got to catch him, run him down. The rain is here. We need to make quick work of Lewis. My goodness, I really struggle in turn 1. But I think we can be a little bit patient at least and wait to the DRS straight away and get past him unless the opportunity arises before, because we're right on the back of him here now. As you see that red light flashing, bit of harvesting there from Hamilton now as we're right to the back of him. And now it's okay. Do we wait for the opportunity with the DRS to make it easy, or do we pounce sooner and then, of course, you know, be under threat from him in the DRS? I think the option I'm going to go with is wait for the DRS right here and just kind of chill behind him for a couple of corners. I'm going to put our fuel into rich and just make sure that we get this pass done on Hamilton. We need it now, and we need to run for our life, basically. Now, we'll swing to the right side. Easy pass on Lewis Hamilton. Go back down to standard. Get down the gears a little bit hot into the braking zone. We go wide. We save it, thank goodness, now, as I was cooking into there. But we stay ahead, and now it's just about trying to drive away from Lewis Hamilton in these closing laps of this Grand Prix. Just over 5 laps to go now, and Hamilton, of course, is going to try and stay with us, and that rain is going to continue to fall. But I think we're already obviously in that position now where it's just we're going to stay out no matter what, unless, I mean, it turns into a sudden downpour over the course of the next lap or so. 9/10 of a second to Hamilton. No spray out of the tires yet as well, which is a really good sign, but we did a really good job opening up the gap there. We're not even going to be under pressure into turn 1. Right now, just a consistent rain, but you can see that as we approach, what, 3.5 laps to go, the spray is starting to come off the tires. That's the moment I was a bit fearful of. I feel like, of course, that's, of course, when you start to hit the turning point of the actual track surface and condition, and we're going to definitely start sliding around a little bit more. Hamilton's still very much within striking distance. So I'm using rich fuel mix on the straightaways, just trying to keep that gap, you know, as large as I can. 1.1 seconds right now to Lewis Hamilton as we get down through the gears, down into second, into this third sector. Of course, this is where, I mean, we actually are able to open up a bit of a gap to Lewis, but I feel like I'm struggling through here, of course, more than any other sector, which makes sense for the style of this game and how it plays, of course. So but it's still working out. We have a nice gap on Lewis as long as we can keep him at bay right there. I mean, there's nothing to be concerned about in these closing 3 laps of racing. We have a nice gap to Hamilton now. We've opened it up to 1.8 seconds. It's really looking promising at this point now. We just got to make sure to maintain the grip, manage everything right now. Don't be too aggressive at this point. There's no need to be too aggressive when you have a 1.8 second gap on Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton has not felt pressure all season long. I think he's won every race besides like 2, which were like the first couple of races, and he has been absolutely unmatched. No one has had anything for him all season, and it's felt like every episode we've gotten a little bit closer and closer to Hamilton, but we just haven't had enough to get us, you know, close enough. And here we are finally today, and it seems like the tides have officially changed. He closes in a little bit in sector 2, but that's not a big deal because here in sector 3 we can focus in again on opening up this gap, coming up on just 2 laps to go here in Sochi. Really starting to slip and slide around now with 2 laps to go. You can see that spray kicking up more than it was just 1 lap ago. Of course, nobody going to bother pitting with 2 to go. We're just trying to bring it home at this point now. This is going to give Hamilton a chance, I think. Honestly, he might be able to close in, seeing that I am struggling a little bit. I am now into rich fuel mode. Just send it to the end of this Grand Prix. Hamilton definitely got closer through sector 2, that was. And so a little bit of a concern coming to the final lap, but I'm not going to panic. We're just going to try and stay ahead, but you can see how far off I was. 1.2 seconds now, the gap. We need to keep him out of DRS. That's the big thing now, because we do still have it enabled. The track is nowhere close right now to being wet enough to disable DRS, but it's certainly damp enough to start messing around a little bit with the comfortability and the handling of this Mercedes, and Hamilton is getting closer as we approach this final lap. Oh my goodness, 9/10 of a second, 1 lap to go. Unfortunately for Lewis, unfortunately for me, I refuse to lose this race no matter what happens. So we are going to plant our car wherever it needs to be to win this Grand Prix. I think Hamilton's going to have a shot on this final lap as the conditions continue to deteriorate now. It's shades of Japan where I was trying to close in on Hamilton, and now he's using the weather to close in on me. The difference, though, of course, last episode I had the tire advantage. He did not. Now we're on the same tires. Here we go through the end of this first sector, a little bit wide on the apex right there. It's a bit of a slide. Hamilton's going to pounce on that now, as he's now only 0.8 of a second back, and we just have to slowly get through here as, my goodness, this car driving like, I don't know, rotten cabbage at this point. Hamilton closes in. I mean, I took it so easy through the corner, and the car just doesn't hook up, and now it's game on. It is very much game on between myself and Hamilton. The rain continues to fall harder. As you can see, the track getting a little bit further deteriorated by every passing moment. Now, here's the big moment of truth. We just got to hang on for this straightaway, and this straightaway only, Hamilton's closer than he's been all Grand Prix long, and now we're going to have to get strategic here. He is going to be very much so close enough. I want the left side of the circuit. Hamilton's going to go for it. Here he goes up the inside. Who's going to get it? He's going to back out of it. We stay ahead. He threw a lunge at us, but it wasn't enough. He nearly got it. And now we just have to hang on through these final couple of corners. The rain came and it tried to, of course, take a win away from us. But finally, around these final couple of turns, as long as we don't screw up, it's all us now. Hamilton not close enough to make a move. And finally, after so many episodes, we round the final couple of corners, and for the first time in F1 2014, we are going to win a Grand Prix. We will absolutely take that. Winners of the Russian Grand Prix here from Sochi. Unbelievable. It took way too long, but it finally happened. And here you see the drivers finishing order now as Alonso rounds off the podium. He was 5 seconds back. Vettel, Ricciardo, Massa, Raikkonen, Magnussen, Bottas, and as well Sergio Perez, rest of the top 10. No DNFs with Kamui Kobayashi at the bottom of the grid. We take a look at the standings now, and we're within fight now for that second spot on Fernando Alonso. Just, 3 Grand Prix remain in this season, I think. So, of course, time running out quickly. We go to Circuit of the Americas, I believe, in the next episode. And, of course, we have just ran away in that Constructors as Red Bull and Ferrari continue to go head-to-head. But we finally did it. We have won in the F1 2014 career mode. We get to celebrate our first win, and hopefully before the season ends we can get a few more as well. Next episode I will showcase where we're headed for F1 2015. Thank you for watching. Have yourselves a great day.